Success doesn't come to those who simply wait for the perfect moment. It comes to those who act even when conditions are far from perfect. The reason most people are not succeeding yet isn't because they lack potential, but because they hesitate to take risks, they allow fear to hold them back, and they give up too early. Every great achievement demands a price, and that price is consistency, hard work, and the ability to keep going when everything seems against you. The difference between people who make it and those who don't is often just the willingness to fail, learn, and try again. You cannot expect extraordinary results if you only put in ordinary effort. Your focus has to be sharper, your discipline has to be stronger, and your vision has to be bigger than your doubts. The truth is, success is not about luck or shortcuts. It's about relentless execution of your ideas and the refusal to stop no matter how many obstacles appear in your path. If you are not succeeding yet, it's because you are still underestimating how much persistence it truly takes. Keep moving forward, keep building, and don't wait for permission. Create your own path, because the future belongs to those who have the courage to shape it. Success is not built on a single moment of brilliance or one lucky break. It is built on a foundation of relentless consistency, hard work, and the courage to continue moving forward even when the path seems impossible. People often look at successful individuals and imagine that their lives are defined by one big breakthrough. But what they don't see is the endless nights of struggle, the thousands of attempts that failed, and the discipline it took to show up every single day when nobody was watching. Consistency is the hidden force behind every great achievement, and without it, talent alone will not take you far. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are laying another brick on the road to success. It doesn't matter how small the action seems in the moment, because repeated daily effort compounds into extraordinary outcomes over time. Think of it like planting seeds in the ground. One day of planting doesn't create a forest, but years of nurturing and tending eventually grow into something massive and powerful. That is how success works. It's the persistence of daily work, the refusal to quit, and the ability to stay consistent long enough for results to finally show. The problem is most people want results without the grind. They want success, but they're not willing to embrace the long periods of struggle, when there is no applause, no recognition, and no guarantee of reward. But this is exactly where greatness is forged, in the silence, in the darkness, when no one believes in you yet. If you can work with the same passion, when no one notices as you would when the whole world is watching, then you are truly unstoppable. Hard work alone is not enough if it's not directed with purpose, but without hard work, even the most brilliant vision will remain only a dream. Every invention, every company, every groundbreaking achievement in history was carried on the shoulders of people who were willing to outwork everyone else. They were not necessarily the smartest, not always the most talented, but they refused to stop, refused to surrender, and refused to let circumstances define their future. That's the kind of spirit it takes. And courage is what keeps you alive when everything inside you wants to quit. There will be times when your effort feels invisible, when you've put in years of energy and yet nothing seems to be changing. Most people give up at this stage. They think the dream is impossible, that maybe it was never meant to happen. But those who succeed are the ones who summon the courage to keep walking into the storm, even when the outcome is uncertain. Courage doesn't mean you are never afraid. It means you act in spite of fear, you move forward while your doubts scream at you, and you trust that the struggle is shaping you into someone who can handle the success when it finally arrives. If you are not willing to fail repeatedly, you are not ready to succeed. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process, a necessary step on the journey. Every failure carries within it a lesson, and each lesson brings you closer to mastery. The greatest innovators, leaders, and creators were once ordinary people who failed more times than anyone else. The only difference is, they had the courage to keep standing up after every fall. Imagine for a moment if you committed yourself to one goal with unshakable consistency. Imagine showing up every single day for years, refusing to take shortcuts, refusing to be distracted, and pouring every ounce of energy into that vision. Do you think it would be possible to fail completely? The truth is, with that level of persistence, it is almost impossible not to succeed in some way. Even if the journey changes direction, even if the dream evolves into something new, your growth, your strength, and your experience become unbreakable assets that guarantee your progress. Success is not about brilliance, it's about endurance. It's about outlasting your fears, outlasting your doubts, and outlasting the people who quit. Consistency turns impossible goals into achievable realities because over time, it transforms you into someone stronger than the challenges in your way. Hard work sharpens your skills and builds the foundation of your dreams. And courage ensures that when everything feels lost, you keep moving forward, because the alternative, giving up, is no longer an option. If you look at anyone you admire today, Anyone who has built something extraordinary, you will find this truth: they kept showing up long after others stopped. They worked when they were exhausted. They tried again after failing. They stood tall when everything tried to push them down. They were not waiting for motivation. They relied on discipline. They did not pray for luck. They created opportunities with relentless effort. And most importantly, they were not afraid of failing in front of the world, because they knew failure was just one step closer to ultimate success. So if you are not succeeding yet, maybe the missing piece is not your talent, not your resources, not even your vision. It's your consistency. It's your ability to work hard every single day with courage, without giving up halfway. Success does not belong to the people who try for a little while and stop. It belongs to those who never stop. The ones who keep going, keep building, and keep pushing, no matter how many times they fall. Consistency, hard work, and courage. That is the formula that turns impossible dreams into unstoppable realities. Most people dream of extraordinary results, but the reality is they approach life with ordinary effort. They hope for success without committing to the level of discipline and intensity that success demands. You cannot build a skyscraper with the effort of a hut. You cannot achieve greatness by doing the bare minimum and expecting the universe to reward you. Extraordinary results are reserved for those who are willing to push beyond average, those who are willing to stretch their limits, and those who refuse to accept mediocrity as their standard. If you are not willing to go beyond what feels comfortable, you are already choosing to remain ordinary. The world does not reward wishful thinking, it rewards relentless action. You might say you want to change your life. You might say you want financial freedom. You might say you want to create something world-changing, but words alone mean nothing without the discipline to back them. Discipline is the bridge between your vision and your reality. Without it, even the biggest dreams will collapse under the weight of inconsistency. Talent can give you an advantage in the beginning, but discipline is what keeps you in the game long enough to win. It is not glamorous, it is not always exciting, but it is the one thing that separates people who talk from people who do. When you look at the extraordinary achievements of history, you will see the same pattern. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every massive success was driven by someone who committed themselves to an abnormal level of focus. They shut out distractions, they sacrificed comfort, and they gave everything they had, even when others told them it wasn't possible. Their focus wasn't scattered across 100 different directions. It was aimed like a laser at the one goal they wanted to achieve, and when you pour that kind of energy into one direction, results become inevitable. But here's the problem with most people. They want extraordinary outcomes while living ordinary lives. They want wealth while wasting time. They want health while neglecting discipline. They want to be respected while refusing to put in the effort that earns respect. They want success while still doing what everyone else does. That is why their results never change. If you want a life different from the average, you must be willing to do what the average person will not. Extraordinary results require extraordinary focus, extraordinary sacrifice, and extraordinary patience. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from mediocrity, freedom from wasted potential. Every time you choose discipline, you are choosing your future self over your current comfort. Yes, it is difficult to wake up early when you'd rather sleep. Yes, it is difficult to work on your vision when everyone else is out wasting time. Yes, it is difficult to stay consistent when the results don't show immediately, but that difficulty is the price of greatness. Ordinary people avoid difficulty and settle for average. Extraordinary people embrace difficulty and rise above it. Your vision has to be bigger than your doubts, because doubt will never leave you. Doubt will whisper in your mind that you are not capable, that you don't have the resources, that you should give up. But if your vision is powerful enough, if it excites you enough, if it burns inside you enough, then no amount of doubt can stop you. When your vision is bigger than your fear, your actions become unstoppable. This is why so many people never break through. They are controlled by their doubts instead of being driven by their vision. Extraordinary results also require that you stop looking for shortcuts. There is no hack for discipline, no cheat code for consistency, no secret formula that bypasses the grind. Every shortcut you take only delays the journey. Every time you avoid the work, you are stealing from your future self. You can't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. Success has a rhythm and it demands time. But time alone is not enough. It must be paired with relentless, focused effort. That is why people who grind with purpose eventually win. They may not see results instantly, but they know every ounce of effort is building momentum that cannot be stopped. Look around you. The world is full of people who tried once and quit. It is full of people who dreamed big but settled for less. It is full of people who thought success would come easily and gave up when they realized how hard it truly is. But then there are the rare few, the extraordinary ones, who refuse to quit, who refuse to lower their standards, who refuse to accept anything less than what they envisioned. And those are the ones who achieve what others call impossible. You need to ask yourself honestly, are you putting in extraordinary effort? Or are you fooling yourself with ordinary actions while hoping for extraordinary rewards? Are you disciplined enough to stay focused while others are distracted? Is your vision bigger than your doubts, or are your doubts bigger than your vision? The answers to these questions will determine your destiny, because success is not random. Success is engineered by those who are willing to do the work that others avoid. Stop waiting for the right moment, because the right moment is now. Stop expecting success to fall into your lap, because it never will. Stop giving average effort and expecting extraordinary results, because life does not work that way. Success belongs to those who are obsessed, those who are disciplined, those who are willing to put everything on the line for what they believe in. If you are not there yet, then it's time to raise your standards. Demand more from yourself, commit to more discipline, sharpen your focus, and expand your vision until it drowns out every doubt you have. The truth is simple: ordinary effort creates ordinary lives. Extraordinary effort creates extraordinary lives. The choice is always yours. The reason most people are not succeeding yet is not because they lack intelligence or resources, but because they are still trapped by hesitation, fear, and the constant underestimation of how much persistence true success requires. People believe success should come quickly, that after a few months of effort they should see results, and when they don't, they quit. But success does not unfold on your timeline. It does not bend to your impatience. It requires more time, more effort, more resilience than you can imagine, and until you accept that reality, you will keep falling short. Hesitation is the silent killer of dreams. Every time you wait, every time you hesitate to act, every time you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, you are handing your future away to someone else who is already moving. Opportunities don't wait for you to feel ready. They appear and then they vanish. The people who succeed are not the ones who always feel confident. They are the ones who act despite their uncertainty. They move forward while others are still hesitating, and that single choice makes all the difference. Fear is the second chain that holds most people back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of risk. They build walls around themselves and call it safety, but that safety is just another word for limitation. What they don't realize is that fear will never disappear. It will follow you wherever you go. The only way to overcome fear is to face it head on, to walk straight into the unknown and discover that most of what you were afraid of was only an illusion. Failure does not destroy you, it teaches you. Judgment from others does not stop you, it only exposes who was never meant to walk with you. Risk is not something to avoid, it is the price you pay for growth. And then comes persistence, the hardest lesson of them all. True success demands persistence far beyond what most people are willing to give. It demands years of effort when you feel invisible. It demands the ability to keep going when nothing is working, when every part of you is screaming to quit. That is why most people never make it. They underestimate just how much persistence it truly takes. They quit not because they couldn't succeed, but because they stopped too early. They gave up right before the breakthrough. Think about it. Every great achievement in history was built by someone who simply refused to quit. They faced the same obstacles you face, the same doubts, the same fears, but they had one difference. They kept going when others stopped. They understood that persistence was not optional, it was the foundation of everything. And that is why they succeeded. Not because they were lucky, not because they were special, but because they were relentless. When you look at your own life, you must ask yourself, are you hesitating when you should be acting? Are you letting fear dictate your decisions? Are you underestimating the persistence required and quitting when it gets hard? If the answer is yes, then that is why you are not succeeding yet. Because success is not waiting for the smartest person or the luckiest or the most talented. It is waiting for the one who refuses to stop. Most people quit after their first failure. Some keep going for a while but give up when it gets too painful. Very few endure long enough to finally break through. And those few become the ones the world admires, the ones whose names are remembered, the ones who change everything. The question is, which group do you want to be in? The quitters who gave up too soon or the relentless who refused to stop? The truth is, hesitation, fear, and lack of persistence are choices. You can choose to act instead of hesitating. You can choose to walk into fear instead of hiding from it. You can choose to persist instead of giving up. These choices are not easy, but they are always available to you. And every time you choose them, you move one step closer to success. You must stop underestimating the journey. Success will take longer than you think. It will be harder than you imagine. It will demand sacrifices you didn't plan for. But the moment you accept this, the moment you commit to walking the path, no matter how long it takes, you will separate yourself from almost everyone else. Because most people are searching for shortcuts, but you will be building strength. Most people are looking for easy wins, but you will be developing resilience. Most people are quitting halfway, but you will be going all the way. Persistence transforms you. It turns weakness into strength, doubt into confidence, failure into fuel. Every time you push through one more obstacle, you become someone stronger than the person you were yesterday. And eventually, when you've been through enough, when you've persisted long enough, you become unstoppable. Because what can stop a person who refuses to stop? Nothing, no setback, no rejection, no failure. No obstacle can defeat someone who has decided that quitting is not an option. So, the real reason you're not succeeding yet is not because you lack potential. It's because you haven't fully committed. You are still hesitating when you should be acting. You are still letting fear control your decisions. You are still quitting when persistence is required. And until you break these patterns, success will remain out of reach. But the moment you decide to act, to face your fear, and to persist no matter how long it takes, that is the moment everything changes. That is the moment you shift from wishing for success to creating it. There will always be people who doubt you. There will always be challenges that seem bigger than you. There will always be moments when quitting feels easier. But none of that matters if you keep moving forward. Success doesn't belong to the fastest or the smartest. It belongs to the one who refuses to stop. That is the truth. That is the reason some people succeed while others do not. So stop hesitating. Stop letting fear win. Stop underestimating persistence. Decide today that you will move forward no matter what, and you will keep moving until the dream is real. Success is waiting, but it will not come to you. You must go after it with everything you have, and never stop until it is yours.